Stuck in Bangalore.
Stuck in Bangalore. Good. So guys, what time are we starting? 5 o'clock.
Yes, sir. At 5, let us start.
So how is the agenda? Who will start? What is the flow of it?
Apurva, can you brief Pradeep, sir?
Yes, sir. So, firstly, we would introduce LCC to the students. Then we'll do the introduction of all our guests today. That is you, Subhashri and Anu. Then we would like you to address the students. After that, we'll have a question and answer session with Shubhashri and Anu, and we would also ask few questions to you. Then we would, yeah. Then there would be vote of thanks.
Okay. So what is the duration of this event?
Approximately 1 hour
Okay.
total.
Okay. I want Subhashri and Anup to talk more because
Yes, sir.
they've experienced interview. The last
Okay.
time he was interviewed was 10 years ago, so he's going to better.
Yes, sir. Like many students have doubts about current placement scenario because of COVID situation. So I think
Okay.
you would be best to address about this.
Yeah, that I will tell them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The preparation part, Anup and Subhashri can throw us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any specific thing which I have to give out, mention?
Just about the COVID related, like what it will be, sir. How the placements will be going on. That's it.
Predominantly placement scenario.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you guys will be live on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
So it's already live on YouTube.
Okay, okay. Subhashri, your voice is okay. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Meeting after a long time, Subhashri.
Yeah. Shall I start, sir?
Yeah. Go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yashasvi G. Sagar, the editor of LCC JSS STU. Welcome to the placement talk held by Linux Campus Club, JSS STU, in collaboration with the Placement Cell. Linux Campus Club is the technical club under the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, JSS Science and Technology University. LCC is a destination for young and enthusiastic minds who want to congregate, create, and contribute. For young and enthusiastic students who want to enhance their both technical and soft skills. We're conducting the event to provide the students an insights into various stages of the campus placement. Now I'm requesting Apurva, the editor of LCC, to introduce the speakers for today's session.
Today we have with us Dr. Pradeep Manjunath, Training and Placement Officer, JSS Science and Technology University. We also have a super seniors, Shubhashri and Anu. Both are alumnus of this college from the class of 2018. They are working as software engineers at Intuit. I now call upon our first guest speaker, Mr. Pradeep Manjunath, to address the students. I would like to take this honor and welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, guys. Always a pleasure to interact through Linux Campus Club. You guys are doing a great job. So today, when we see post-COVID scenario, it's all negative around. So we will not be able to judge what is happening. But SJCE students will not be affected anyway. So let me start by saying, placements will be as usual for SJCE students. So you can expect the same number of companies, same opportunities given to you, like always. While I say this, I am talking to a couple of companies and scheduling the company dates. Because of the government orders, we're just waiting for the campus to reopen, and we can start with our placement activities. So it is actually good that I'm scheduling a few companies to come and recruit. So the scenario is changed. The recruitment scenario of companies coming to campus to recruit students will not happen. So we see virtual interviews, online examinations, which will happen now on. Students need to put in a little extra effort than previously. So to be ready with technical skills. So I have Shubhashri and Anup who are going to talk about what technical skills you should possess. So aptitude is one basic component where you got to be ready on, and you got to brush up on your programming skills. So these are two very important aspects which every student, all branch students, have to really buckle up. So now with AI, ML, and a lot of opportunities awaited in companies, so even a mechanical student is required to possess programming skills in some smaller way. So even biotechnology domain, they are requesting students to have good hold on programming skills. So this two concepts of preparation is very well required. So you have a lot of coding platforms, HackerRank. So prepare well in these two coding platforms, and it will solve a lot of problems. This would help. Most of the companies would use this platform to test. The initial screening will happen in these platforms. So uh, otherwise, aptitude training and the basic soft skill training will be taken care. We will tell you how the training is going to be scheduled in few more days. But don't think negative anything about placement. Be ready. We will start by June, mid of June or July. So a lot of companies are lining up. You show your confidence, and I'll get companies. So don't worry. Listen to your seniors now. Subhashri and Anup have a lot of details which they can give about preparing for interview. Just keep it in mind that 5 minutes, 10 minutes interview time will either make you or break you. So be very confident while you're attending the interviews. Demonstrate your confidence. So all these questions which will be posed to you is only about your details of what you learned in engineering. They will not ask anything out of your book. So you not go low on your confidence in answering that. So please concentrate on projects. So 90% of your interviews revolve around projects. So you'll have to be brushing your skills on communicating only about your projects. So your tools, what you utilize in the projects and everything. So this is the basic of what questions will be posed. Another important thing is, because of online learning, e-learning mode, you're attending classes online these days. Coursera is offered a lot of courses for free. I think you all received a mail from college. So see if you can do short-term courses and try to add up your certifications. This will really boost up your resume. So we will stand apart from all other students in various other campuses. But so domain-specific courses. So there are a lot of artificial intelligence, blockchain. So a vast number of courses have been offered in these platforms, and it is free. So make the best of these courses, and demonstrate your technical skills very strong. So the challenge now is, how quickly we can adapt to virtual learning, e-learning mode. So that most of the companies are now offering training to students over e-learning itself. So earlier, the 2 months, 3 months initial training phase, which used to happen come in the company premises, are now happening virtually. So our students who've been offered, your seniors who are offered, are also intact in getting onboarded to the companies. So no offer declines. None of the students has suffered. So this is actually a positive sign from the companies. They are eager, and so few of the companies have actually come ahead and said, "I am ready to take from tomorrow." But we said, please hold on. Let our students come back to campus. Let us train them for initial few days. Let us finish the exams, and then we'll start off. So be ready. We might start in June, mid of June or first week of July. The demand is good, so don't worry. I mean, you can always be confident and sure about SJC placement cell. But only request is, in this lockdown, while you are at your places, prepare well. use this opportunity. Don't waste time. Do some certifications, do some projects online, internships online. So this will have a lot of weightage on your interview. So I will stop here and ask Subhash and Anup to please give your insight, and I'm happy to take questions, specific questions if you have in the later part of this session. Over to you guys.
I would like Shubhashri to share her experiences and give her insight.
Hi everyone. So, Apurva, I think we can go ahead with the questions itself, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this question is for you, Shubhashri. How do we prepare for the aptitude round? Like, which are the areas we have to concentrate more on for the aptitude round?
So, aptitude has a lot of divisions like quantitative, qualitative, and your verbal skills as well, right? So, I think most of the training for aptitude is given by the placement cell. Attend that and be prepared there. Apart from that, in some of the companies, the first online round, only a small percentage is aptitude and most of it is coding. So I would say concentrate more on your coding, but do not neglect aptitude. Brush up on your resources will be provided by the placement. Anup, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah.
Aptitudes.
Yeah, sure. What we used to do is we used to refer a book from R.S. Agarwal. So I think that's the standard book that everyone suggests. One is that, and we used to also refer to some mobile apps that we can always use, like for every day, like 10 to 15 minutes. If you have time, you can just quickly open that app and start answering. It will even count your time that you spent towards the questions, and the solutions will be right there, and you can just quickly prepare for every day for some time. And I think as Shubhashri already mentioned, coding is more important, and these are fundamentals. So while you're strong at aptitude and stuff, you should be more strong at coding, because that's what companies judge you more on. And aptitude is basically for the cutoff mostly, and coding is what brings you to the top.
So before we could take the next question, yeah, SSV, I would I'm just proud to mention Subhashri and Anup passed out in 2018 and have really made SJC proud by bagging the highest offer in campus, and we are happy to have you representing Intute and talking about your experiences. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Shubhashri. Thank you, Anup. And Anup, this question is for you. How should we prepare for the product-based companies? Like, any specific suggestions?
Yeah. Product-based companies usually have their own domains. Like if you see Cisco, they have their own networking domain, and other companies which have their own domain. So they do not ask questions like specific to your domain or something like that. Your interviews usually go on your flow. It depends on you how you take the interview. So be prepared on what you actually like or what you have actually done something on, and then take the interview in that direction. For example, right from like whenever you start preparing, you should start doing some good projects that will serve as a proof of concept for whatever you have learned, and that will be something to display in your interviews, and the questions will be asked based on that, and the further questions will be built on that. And while that is done, so what we usually saw the pattern was like they used to have two technical rounds. Like most of the companies, they have two technical rounds. Some go beyond four as well, but basically there are like two rounds that almost all the product companies do, and one would be like testing of fundamentals, like basically the subjects you have studied, maybe algorithm or data structures or databases or computer networks or anything like that. And the second interview would be basically based on your projects that you have done so far, if you have done any. and all the questions around the subjects that you've covered, and things like that. Shubhashri,
Okay.
anything to add?
Yeah, I think you covered most of it.
Many students have the doubt how to build a resume. What should they add in it? What should they not add? Because resume makes a first impression. So, what are your inputs on that, Shubhashri and Anand?
I would say keep it short and keep it informative. That is the first piece of paper they see about you. So do not put any false information there just to make it fancy. Be very, very honest on your resume. Add your most important project that you have done. Express what you have learned the most at the top, and put on all your skill sets that you have learned throughout your just put in what you feel are important, and like Anup mentioned in the previous answer, right? This is what helps you drive the conversation. So if you put in a project that catches the interviewer's eye, they would ask more questions on that. So put in things that you're more confident about. Be very honest in your resume, and put in your top skills there. I think that's what I would suggest.
If I can add a little bit onto Shubhashri, Shubhashri was very crisp and said, be very specific in it. So this paper, is actually the reflection of what you are. So be very careful in mentioning each and every word there. Just don't try to copy paste the format which is available in Google. Create your resume. So while I say create your resume, you'll have to put in your heart and mention only what you know. Okay, so to make it attractive, don't mention the skill set which you don't know. So questions will be based on only that. So everything what you mention in the resume can also be a trap. So questions will be posed on each and every word. What you don't use words like challenging, stimulating there. So the next question, as an example, will be like, okay, what is a challenging situation you face? Because you mentioned something as challenge here. So be very confident in writing it and answering what you know. So prepare answering the questions what you mentioned in the resume. Okay, so projects also give a little brief about your project. Don't give lengthy project details there, because if everything is there in the resume, we don't need to meet you face to face. So there should be an ample opportunity for the HR to listen to you. So don't let the resume contain details on project. And as engineering students, your resume should only talk technology, technical skills, your project experiences. Okay, hobbies are fine. So while you mention hobbies, again, mention only what you experienced. So don't mention anything else. Strengths, weaknesses, personal details. No, personal details not required. So again, there is no perfect resume. Let your resume be very small in mentioning the details. Let it not run 2 pages. So sometimes people have this perception, the lengthier the resume, the more attractive it is, or it gains more attention. No, the smaller the detail, the smaller the content, it attracts the resume. But when I say smaller details, it should have legitimate information backed with it. You should be able to explain all the details what you mentioned in the resume. That is very, very important. So Anup, please go ahead.
Yeah, to add to that, I would like to consider a resume as a syllabus to your interviewers. So that's where you box your interview experience, and then everything is based on that. And one more thing that I would like to add is like, instead of thinking of what to put in resume, you should actually start with what you should not put in resume. Like something like, I know how to operate Microsoft PowerPoint. It's not something you want to put on your resume. And you know how to operate Linux or open source or something like that. That would actually attract. And you should be very careful in structuring the resume. That also actually matters. And I think Pradeep sir already covered like the resume size shouldn't be too lengthy or too short. What I've studied somewhere is the ideal resume size should be around like 1.5 pages. That doesn't mean that you have to stuff in all the information and like have like smaller font and stuff like that if you have too much to cover. And also doesn't mean if you don't have anything to say, just stretch and make it 1.5 pages somehow. So you should always have everything in a standard manner, in the standard font and all those things, and cover as much as you can. And like Pradeep already mentioned, don't put everything in your resume. put points which would attract your interviewers to ask questions about it. Like for example, you have done some project A and you know a lot about it. Put it in such a way that the interviewer will get excited about that and will ask you more questions on that. And that's how you take things forward. And like sir mentioned, the objective that you mentioned in the resume, which actually doesn't give much value, but it can also backfire. Like if you say, I can work in a challenging and some environments, like sir mentioned, that will actually backfire you. So people ask like, how challenging can you go, and how pressurized can you be if you say, I can work in hard pressures and stuff like that. So be careful in what to mention in a resume and what not to mention specifically.
Okay. And projects also have very important role. We should mention our projects. So what kind of project should we do? Which project should we focus on? Is there anything like that? Anu, I would like to ask
Yeah.
you.
Sure. Projects doesn't mean you'll have to do something like specific. Like everyone nowadays do projects on ML and AI because that attracts everyone. It's not how it's supposed to be. Go with the field of interest that you love, and start building on projects on that, so that you have more hold on the subjects and projects that you do, and that should be listed under your projects. And I think sir already mentioned it, that it should be in the decreasing order of the complexity as well as the understanding you have in that project. And To answer what kind of projects you should be doing, to start with, I think if someone from second year or even third year for that matter are there, you can actually start with doing some proof of concepts of something that you're studying daily, day-to-day basis. So you can pick up some algorithms, code it yourself, and say that you have done this, and you can do some improvisations on it. And that's how research papers and even other research comes into picture, right? Like when you build on top of existing concepts and come something up on your own. So that's how things get better. Yeah, Shubhashri, over to you.
Yeah, I think I agree completely on your point of doing projects on what you have already learned. So you're learning some subject in your class, say, and you find some concept very interesting. Try to dig deep on that. Try to find projects related to that subject, some open issues or some open problems. And if you come to algorithms, there are a lot of problems that you can solve. And even for that matter, pick up a simple data structure and try to code everything by yourself. It may not be a project worthy of putting in your resume, but you will learn a lot through these projects. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think she brought a wonderful point that reminded me of something. So, whatever you do, try to put it on GitHub and put that GitHub link on your resume. So nowadays, what interviewers do is they get the link of your GitHub on your resume and actually browse it while you're in the interview. And they browse through all your projects that you've done and go through the project structure and the code that I've written, so that they know how you code right from there. Because in the interview they can't cover everything, your coding skills and everything, so they just go for the algorithms part. But such things actually attract them to hire you. That is one thing. And another thing that I wanted to tell was, once you do any of such resume kind of activities, please do share it with your interviewers, so that they can give you feedback about how you can improve on this and come up with a better structure and better resume.
Thank you, Anu. And now I would like to ask Pradeep sir a question. So one student have asked, like, what are the skills required to land a job at their dream company? Like, since this session is joined by both the circuit and non-circuit branches, so please suggest us a few answers.
So students need to do a lot of research about the companies which have already been listing SJC. So we have list of around 200 companies which are coming now. So you guys have to look at the feedbacks, what your seniors have given. So there's a big dump of information which your seniors have given us on how to prepare for which companies or how the companies are doing the projects, what business they are into. So based on that, students need to prioritize how which company they have to really get into. So if you know that you will be you're attracted towards company X, company Y, so you have to start preparing research about the company. What is the company all about? What are the businesses into? Then look into your seniors' feedbacks on which platform project they are being deployed into, which city, which location. So if that project excites you, I always suggest you have a connect with your seniors specific to their working to them. So LCC is a great platform for students to connect to their seniors. Okay, so dream companies, don't try to write or get into all the hundreds of companies. You just because there's a company tomorrow, don't try to get into all the companies which you can. So choose your company, prioritize your company, and do research about it. Work for that. So prioritize 10, 15 companies and only do your research and prepare for that company itself. So that might be so dream company need not be only the fat high paying companies. Dream company will be any company which you like to work there. So there might be company like Mercedes, which will not be offering lucrative salary package like other software companies, but it is a dream company for many of us. So likewise, I suggest students to prepare themselves well on knowing the company better, because there'll be a few short question in the interview. Why this company? Why do you want to sit for our company? What do you know about our company? So you can't just say just because the company came to college, I'm sitting for it. No, you have to answer it in a professional manner. You will have to make impress them by telling more about the company. So that gives them idea of that. Okay, this guy is really interested in a company. He's done some research. So look at the news item of all these companies. Look at latest updates in their website. So you will get a lot of information in the website. Has the company acquired any new projects, or have they merged with any new company? Have they won any new awards or on product development? So these are vital information, updated information which you have to present it. Just by knowing the CEO of the company, the turnover, the presence, that is basic information. Everybody will get that information. So you do a little bit of more research, then talk to your seniors. So your seniors might tell, these are the projects what the company is offering. These are the projects where the freshers have been recruited. So if you just say, this is what excited me to sit for this company process, they will be little impressed. So your 50% of interview is done there. So due diligence, do research. That is when you realize that it is a dream company for you or not. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunity now. Even service companies are actually offering lucrative opportunities for SGC students. So even TCS Digital Accenture is coming up with separate pay packages. Infosys is recruiting for separate pay packages. So those were the days when the 3.5 lakh salary mass recruitment. So those days are gone now. And so that volume hiring will not happen anymore. So it is only value hiring. So how creative the creative, innovative approach, what you can demonstrate to the company, that is when they are going to consider you for the selection. So hope I've answered.
Thank you, sir. Now I want to ask Anup this question. Is participation in hackathons or getting an internship mandatory? Because many might get the chance to do an internship or some might not. Any suggestions to clear this doubt?
Yeah, sure. Definitely, it's not mandatory, but they actually make you stand out of other students. Like you have like 1,000 or 3,000 of students studying in the same college, appearing for the same exams. So this is something that will make you stand out of all those, and will boost your resume and bring you up. And one more thing, your CGPA or SGPA, those would come into picture when you actually sit for the exams. You have the cutoff there, so that's where all that gets cleared. And once you get into the interview, you're all the same. So having a project or internship or attending more and more hackathons they give you more visibility, and the companies will look forward to such things where you do something else apart from your normal studies, because that's how even in the companies it works, because you'll be working with most of the stuffs that's going around, and you have to cope up and learn to multitask and do a lot of stuffs while you excel at each one of it. And yeah, to answer,
Shubhashri,
it's not mandatory.
do you want to have? Do you want?
Yeah, I think apart from being a standout point in your resume, internships give you a lot of exposure. For me personally, it it was an entry to the corporate world from our college life. College and corporate are two very different things, right? So before joining there as a full-time employee, if you have a sneak peek through these internships, if you get an opportunity, make sure you go for it. It gives you a very good exposure, and you get to experience the industry life firsthand, right? So that is something that you can only experience by going there. So if you get an opportunity to do an internship, don't miss it. That's all I would add.
And also, like when you're doing internship, you'll be treated like babies. So you'll be given a lot of attention and care. So that's a great opportunity to bond with your team and learn a lot of things. And it's like so much fun while you don't have to worry about so much of the consequences of whatever you're doing, and just do it and not care about it. And actually, it might depend on companies, but wherever I worked as an intern, I've always had a lot of fun and a lot of learning too.
Thank you. Shubhashri, can you answer this one? How should one approach for the interview?
Yeah, so I think the most important point I would mention for any interview is don't go in blindly. Never ever go into an interview blindly. Always have some thought process and justification also for attending the interview, because the first question the interviewer may or may not ask is, why are you even sitting for this company? So have that justification to be answered in the interview, and for yourself as well. If you have the motivation that you have to get into the company, then you will be prepared for it. And apart from that, I think if you are not very outspoken, make sure you practice for the interviews. I know it sounds a little weird, but try to have some answers for common questions like, tell me about yourself, or what are your strengths and weaknesses. And try to have some family member or friends do a mock interview round with you. So that gives you the confidence to attend the actual interview. And apart from that, I think have a strong resume, because that's where your interview revolves around. Yeah, and do your research, like Pradeep sir mentioned. Always do your research before entering an interview. Never ever go in blindly. That would be my suggestion.
Thank you. How to improve our data structures and algorithm? Anup, can you please answer this one?
Yeah, sure. So to start, you'll have your fundamentals covered in your syllabus that you study, and to build on top of it, you'll have to actually study more, because your syllabus covers some 40 or 50% of it, and there is a lot of other things that will be out of it, and you'll have to study all those with some really good books, and just studying those will not help you much. So practice it. So there are free platforms like HackerRank and HackerEarth, where you can find like tons of questions with even the test cases running and everything, where you can run your code and check. And also that adds your to your resume as well when you practice and get some badges or something. And people can actually go and check your HackerRank or HackerEarth profile to get to know how you perform in such kind of like coding activities. So that is one thing. And the other thing is do refer to some online lectures and online courses, like sir mentioned already, like Coursera, platforms like Coursera and edX, where you get to learn from really good universities, and also the professors give you ample assignments that you can code and have it in their environment only. So that is one thing.
Thank you, Anu. I would like to tell all the students that if they have any doubts, they can post their questions in the comments. We'll be asking them the questions. Also, I would like to ask a frequently asked question. Which programming language should I focus more on? I would like to ask this question to Shubhashri.
Yeah, I think there is no one single answer to this. Every company uses their own tech stack, and it's more your ability to learn a new programming language that makes you stand out from how many languages you know. So, for me, I am currently working with Java, and Java is one of the well established languages in many companies, and which cannot be directly replaced by other languages. So, I think Java is one good language to be good in, but more than the language, I feel you should concentrate on the concepts. And see, if you're learning an object oriented programming language, concentrate more on the concepts rather than the language itself. So that would be my answer. Anup, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I actually completely agree with Shubhashri. Like, if you know the concepts, the language is just a syntax, so it doesn't matter much. But having said that, so some companies do have their first round of the multiple choice or whatever that structure is with C, and some companies also have C++, but mostly it's C. That is one thing. And the other thing is, you should learn a programming language that be easier for you to code in your coding ground also. So suppose like Java and some complicated languages, like I personally don't like C much, because if you start coding in C in your coding round, it'll take you forever. So I personally used to use Python, which is fast and crisp, and you can use it for your coding rounds. And you can actually choose a language of your choice that you're comfortable in for the coding round specifically. And for fundamentals, the C should do, which you would have already studied in your course. Yeah, that's.
Thank you, Anu. I would like to ask Pradeep sir this question. What is the scope of jobs for a fresher after this pandemic ends?
So as I said, there is a lot of ample opportunities outside, and SJC being a premier brand, we have a lot of companies lined up. So students need not panic. There might be a little delay in companies recruiting for the core branches, like they say mechanical, civil core companies. They might come in a little late, but I don't see any problem with the core electronics, computer science, instrumentation companies coming in now. So student, even there are certain companies for mechanical who are actually requested for the dates,
Okay.
like so. Don't worry about the situation outside. Just concentrate on preparing yourself well. So we will have companies lined up.
And I think
Thank
to
you,
add
sir.
to it,
What?
just to add and probably give some moral
Yes, Anu.
support to the students over here. So code is something that you don't have control with. So just focus on your studies and getting into the companies, and don't worry about the companies coming to the college. Pradeep sir is there to take care about that, and he's already good at it, and he's doing a good job. So focus on what is in your control, and don't worry about the pandemic.
Yes, thank you. One more frequently asked question. What are the core subjects I should concentrate on? I would like Anup to answer this question.
Yeah, I think I already mentioned this before. So, data structures and algorithms are two important fundamental subjects that you want to have excellent hold on. So, because everything else is built on top of that, and most of the companies usually ask questions around this itself. And if you're smart, then you can take your interview in that direction only. And other subjects are like computer networks and databases. These are the subjects that if your interviewer is interested in, then you might get questions according to my experience. Actually, I'm not sure about this, but I'm pretty sure that data acquisition algorithms will be like two mandatory subjects that you should be knowing, and one of the any OOPS programming language that Shubhashi already mentioned, because all the companies use OOPS definitely. So that is one foundational element that everyone should be knowing. And other subjects are just domain knowledge, which are good to know, and even actually better to know. So Shubhashri, anything to add?
No, I agree with you on that. And coming to the subjects, I think the subjects that you have in engineering, make sure you have at least a basic understanding of all of them, because those were part of your course. So you are expected to know about them. But concentrate more on data structures and algorithms, I would suggest.
Thank you.
Adding to,
And
Here is one more
you won't be
question.
asked any.
adding to Subhashri and Anup, for the mechanical and civil set of students who are
Yes.
here today,
Yeah.
uh,
Continue.
students actually have to concentrate along with programming languages. You also have to be concentrating on the design tools, design subjects which you are already learning, like CAD, CAM, ANSYS, Pro. So most of the companies are now looking for these skill set as well. So along with the core subjects what you study. So I again want to reiterate that no questions will be asked beyond your engineering syllabus. They mostly want to rotate around your basics. So first year, second year basics will be given a lot of importance to. So you'll have to really brush up on that. Just because you finished it long back, don't think you will not be posed a question there. So they will ask few questions to understand what the basics is. It is still the old school there. They want to know, especially in mechanical and civil domain of work. They want to know how good you are in your basics, then you are designing as well. So most of these companies which are recruiting are also seeing how well you've been acquainted in the projects what you do. So mechanical and civil students need to do projects, and they need to demonstrate their project work in interviews. It is very mandatory for them.
Yeah, and to add to it, and on top of your fundamentals that you know, try to even think about the practical applications of it. Like, for example, in networks, computer networks, nobody will ask you like some theory question that is there in the books, like line by line. People will questions like, when you type www.google.com, what will happen? Like all the network calls that go through, and the response that comes, and such questions, such practical applications. So that is something that you might want to think about.
Thank you, Anu. How should we answer in the HR rounds? Like for the questions like introduce yourself or what are your weaknesses and strengths? I'd like Shubhashri to answer this.
Yeah, I think we will be iterating on the same point that was mentioned before. This is again a tricky part of the interview, I would say. Whatever you answer here, it might backfire at you. So answer only to the point and what you're confident about. Answer honestly. Just to be fancy, don't say fancy words or complicated words. Be true about whatever you're saying and speak from experience. About your strengths and weaknesses, I would say sit and think for yourself. Given a situation, how do you handle it? Or from whatever you have experienced in your engineering or in your life, what do you think are your strengths? And if you have done some volunteer work in college, etc., like say you're part of some technical club and all, what experiences have you gained through that? So talk more about your experiences there, and again, be honest here. Things might backfire if you just answer for the sake of using fancy words. So, yeah. Anup, you want to add something?
Yeah. So I've always thought of the technical round of interviews as something that you might want to share the knowledge about something that you have learned or that you possess. And the HR and even the managerial round, for that matter, is something where you show your leadership skills. So you might not want to go to your HR round and say, I've done project on X and X thing, because they are HR and they might not know some technical details. So So there you might want to showcase your leadership skills and what you have done apart from your normal studies and technical aspects. Yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to add. And one more thing is like usually the HR round is the last round of your whole interview process, so you'll be totally exhausted. So, but having said that, like Shubhashi already mentioned, you should be very careful while speaking your words. So while you're exhausted, stay focused and try to answer with all concentration.
So adding to Subhashri and Anup, first line experienced students who recently faced interviews, recently in the sense last year. So the HR interviews will want to focus. They want to see your attitude. They want to see if you are eager to learn in the organizations. Your preferences on location. So yes, there will definitely be a question on strength and weaknesses. As Shubhashri mentioned, mention your strength. Don't make creative strength, leadership skills. So they will definitely say, okay, tell me where you led the team. You can't give any false information there. Okay, so if you really done some legitimate work leading a team. Or taking some initiatives. So mention that each smaller initiatives, dig out in your 3 4 years of experience in the college and see what have you done, what so you can demonstrate it in an interview.
Thank you, sir. Um, there's this question that have popped up in the comment section. Are there any companies that offer jobs in deep learning and AI? And if so, which are they? And are there any companies that come under robotics, control system domain, and some minimum CGPA for good companies? I would like Pradeep sir to I would like to ask Pradeep sir to answer this one.
I think Sir has some technical issues. Probably me and Shubhashi can take the first part of the question. I mean, the first question that what are the companies that take AI ML based uh, employees? So nowadays, as AI ML is some really cool stuff that everyone is looking at. So all the companies do have opportunities for that, and there are companies which purely focus on AI and ML. So there are those as well. So you might want to think about the companies that you want to go into, and whenever you get into like really good companies, even after getting into the company, you can talk to your managers or your seniors and check for opportunities within the company that do offer AI and ML as per your interest. Uh, yeah, I think Sir is back now. He can take this. I think he's on mute.
Sir, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So we were talking about the HR interviews, especially while some of the students have location preferences where you can't travel. So these service companies which are recruiting you, so they might deploy you across India. So be very known about the places where you can be deployed. So if you have some location preferences, be open enough and say that you are looking for job opportunities, but you will not be given an option because you will be deployed only after 1 year of recruiting. So tell them openly that you have you will not be comfortable working at Rajasthan or somewhere in Pune or Maharashtra if there is a but I would suggest all students in the initial phase not to have this barrier of location. You got to be working at all the locations in India to learn, meet new people because that is a new experience. So once you are comfortable there, you can actually that is actually a mandatory question. They want to know whether you are open for relocation. So most of them would be giving you Bangalore location, but be ready to relocate across India.
Thank you, sir. I would like to ask you to answer this one. What is the minimum CGPA for a good company, sir?
So 7 CGPA is minimum. So between 6.75 and 7 CGPA is minimum, but the CGPA is also very important criteria. So just don't stick on or reduce your limitation to have 6.57. So it depends on every company. So if they want to fix in, if they want to interview very less students for less positions they have, they would set up an upper cutoff of 8 CGPA or 9 CGPA. But so service companies are actually looking for 60% throughout your 10th, 12th, and engineering, and 6.75 CGPA. Product companies will, most of them will look out for only current degree CGPAs. So anything above 8, you're comfortable to attend most of the interviews. Almost every interview you can attend if you have 8 CGPA and above. I suggest you maintain your CGPA and consistently. And there are very certain few companies also. They have different selection criteria. They say no cutoff, or some companies says they plug upper cutoff. They say I need only students between 6.75 and 7.75 CGPA. I don't want students beyond 7.7. So there are very less companies which also have upper cutoff, but don't worry about it. If your CGPA is anything above 8, you are always safe to attend all companies which are coming to campus.
Thank you, sir. How important is English as a communication tool? Like some people will be underconfident if their English speaking skills are not that good. How would you like to guide them?
So English communication is very important, crucial in every interview. So I'm not promoting English language or anything, but when you are approaching a global multinational company who have presence across globe, they would want to rate you on your basic English communication. So when I say basic English communication, you should be able to convince them on what you want to say. So that is very important. So if you don't have proper communication on English language, get to read lot of newspapers, watch news channels, interact with your friends in English to learn. So nobody can teach you English or make you converse in English in 15 days or 1 month. So it is only through self development. So have confidence in speaking over English. If you are having a broken English vocab, also it is fine. If you can demonstrate them that you can learn, given a period of time you would learn communicating better, it is also okay. So don't lose confidence over if you don't find the right word to convince the HR. So English communication also very important, and convincing them that you can also learn is equally important.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you please suggest the year-wise goals one should set for themselves if they want to face the placements with full confidence?
I didn't get you, sorry, please come again.
Can you share us whatever the year-wise goals a student has to set, like for second year, for third year, they have to set some goals so that they can face the placements very confidently. Do you have any suggestions like that?
So very importantly, from second year itself, do a lot of internships and projects. That is actually a key to build your resume strong. So the more projects and assignments you take it up during your second and third year, the more stronger the resume is. So you will also have to, other than projects and assignments, if you have time to do some NGO work, that also adds up in a big way to your resume. So social skills, societal importance is also very important to make a brand insight. More projects, more preferences given to your hackathon. Participate in a lot of hackathons, ideathon events. So this is how you really create it, and participate in all these student forums in the campus. They are also organizing a lot of these events, and you can get a lot of understanding from there. So the interview would actually be revolving around only these aspects of what you've done in your college, other than studying. Also, this is also very important. So I would love I want Subhashri and Anup also to tell how they could prepare from second year.
Yeah, I think one thing I would say here is whatever subjects you have, honestly learn them, and try to understand why you're learning something. It's not put in your syllabus just for the namesake, right? So it is put in there for a reason. Try to understand why you're learning something, and like sir mentioned, do projects and be inquisitive about everything you learn. That way, you also get more ideas for projects as well. And I think that would be for the studies part. Apart from that, do take part in these clubs, student forums, and volunteer as much as possible. This is another platform where you learn a lot. I think Anup and I have a first-hand experience in that. We were part of LCC and we were actively volunteering there, and we were part of LCC since our second year. Participating in the first year and started contributing from second year. That gave us a lot of good connect with our seniors and exposure to conducting events and managing throughout. So that's what I would suggest.
So adding upon, every department has these initiatives like LCC and other clubs. Every department is doing a lot of work here, but LCC is open up for all branches now. So I want to tell you guys how important student forums are, because they have access to seniors, access to company executives who can come and give them a lot of information. So take part in it. So if you are given an opportunity, lead the team. So that is also very important, where you can showcase your that you done. Subhashri was a placement secretary. So if you can showcase that in her resume, that she was leading her class by giving placement information, so that is actually a good point to be recognized. So being part of any clubs, leading it, taking additional responsibilities. So these are all things which you can really tell in your interviews that yes, other than books, I was also doing all these activities, which has helped me in leadership, in team building, or being part of the student forums, networking. So these are also very important.
Thank you, sir. There's a question in the comment section. Any game development company coming to our college?
Yes, we have companies which are recruiting, or specifically like last year, I think we had the company which was from Udupi. They are actually working on gaming. So Robosoft, which I think it is now changed from Robosoft to another name. So there are a couple of companies, gaming companies, which are actually visiting us. Definitely. So you can look upon. So this will be given out very soon about the list of companies which have come and feedback section. So you can prepare well for it. So though, and the students have to really look into it. Though there is a gaming company coming in, they will not be giving you the kind of work what is your interest on. They would want to recruit you for the work they have. So you can actually get into the work what you like inside the once you join the company inside. So don't ask them that I'm not interested if you give me this profile. So you should not tell them this is the only profile I like to work. So be very open and flexible to get into the company, work for what the projects they have been offered. Then you can actually over a period of time, you can actually ask them that this is my interest. So every company will promise you for a great career inside them. Okay, they will give you options of changing projects, roles, so you can actually try to get into your dream role there. So initially, as a fresher, you can prioritize and say, I want to do only this. You'll have to be open to work in the field what the companies offer.
Thank you, sir. Any increase in the number of core companies for triple E students?
Yeah, so triple E instrumentation companies are coming in. So last year also we had close to around 18 or 25, 80, 25 companies which have come core specific to electrical. So I don't see any problem for these companies as well in future. So by in this situation, increase. I would not want to comment on increase, but I'll see to that at least these companies which have come previously to STC, to definitely come here. So I'm optimistic and definitely getting new companies, but hope for the best.
Thank you, sir. Do the recruiters give more importance only to projects in the company's domain?
Uh, yeah, recruiters actually come here for specific roles and which they will be recruiting for. So yeah, there are certain instances where they see that you have done an excellent project, and there might not be an opportunity at present, but they might go back and say consider you later. So they'll say at specific, I'm recruiting only for these skill sets, and this project. And if there is any possible openings, there are certain instances where companies have come back and said your student was actually interested here and he had done a project like this. We might offer him an internship. So there are chances, rare chances that your skill set and your interest matches in the company requirement. But most of the time, companies come with a specific requirement in the mind and specific business units. But they might consider if you have a special skill set and interest on projects, they might consider, they might take it positively. So we have seen previous year, there are a couple of companies which have come second time, third time to recruit from our own colleges, because they have seen the student quality, the projects what they do. So they have again come back because they had their resumes with them. They said, though I visited other campuses, I felt that HTC students matched the role, matched the requirement, and they have recruited.
Thank you, sir. What are the different domains of work in any company in general?
This we have to see the feedback of domain of work. So most of the time, you will be getting into the programming developing part of it. They will not be putting taking you for R&D initially, so you'll have to get into the developer role. And sometimes there are some companies which are recruiting you for product development and testing, also automated testing. So if that is what you like, take the job only if you like. Okay, so testing also, there is a wrong notion that if you do testing, automated testing, or if you get into a testing role, you don't have career progression inside the company and so on. So don't listen to all these things. There are ample opportunities inside the company, even beyond testing. So, though you are a fresher who joined in the testing role, you will be given the developer role in future as well. So, don't limit yourself with all the wrong notions. There will be ample opportunity, and most of the time we've seen that there are lucrative salary packages from companies, though they are recruiting you only for testing, but they are offering you great packages. And there are students who change the domain in less than 6 months and 1 year to development and other things. So all these jobs, because every company promises you a great career, they will not want their employees to stick on to only one project till they mature in that. But you will get opportunities, wait for it. And also, if you have specifications, don't just sit for the company, because most of the companies will actually tell during the presentation itself that this is what the role they are looking at. So be very specific, attend all these ppts, pre-placement talks by the company. They will tell all these details, so you can clarify with the roles, responsibilities then and there. Then you decide if this is the company you want to get into. So companies will not want to recruit a student and later on you say I'm not interested. So that is kind of black mark on the student profile. Don't do that. So get to know what roles they're offering in the PPT, and this is vital that you attend the pre-placement talk of all the companies. Ask, clarify all the questions there, then choose the career what you want to get into.
Thank you, sir. If there's any person who is very good in competitive coding, but he doesn't know web and Android development that well, how should he prepare for the placement? This is for Shubhashri or Anu, anyone of you answer.
Yeah, I can take that. As we already mentioned, so the domain knowledge is not like specific to be like web or Android. It can be anything of your choice that you love, and it actually doesn't matter that much also. But having something else apart from competitive coding does add some value. But yeah, having said that, it's not something to worry about that you don't have anything in web or Android, because there are a lot of topics out there apart from these that you might be interested in, and the company also might be interested in. Shubhashri?
Yeah, I think you covered most.
Please give some suggestions for civil engineering students to get placed in a good company, sir. I would like to Pradeep sir to answer this question.
So yeah, civil engineering companies will start coming in a little late, so not immediately. So basic civil engineers have an advantage of working very closely with the construction majors. The projects are easily available for them, so do your projects well. So hoping to get a lot of civil companies this year with the advantage of the designing software is what you learn. We know it is a little turbulent time for the construction industry, so they are not immediately looking for a great number, but there are companies like L&T and Atkins, so they have started recruiting in big numbers, but we'll have to be very competent because these, especially the civil and CTM set of students, will face a lot of students across India for less opportunities which are coming in. So be very open in choosing the companies what you like, or there are certain companies which are giving you techno commercial role. So if you like to do admin and both the core job, you'll have to be ready for it. So the core competency is know your core subjects better.
Thank you, sir. Are there any suggestions in general to all the students from all three of you?
Yeah, Shubhashri, please go ahead. This is for you. Anup also.
Yeah, I think one suggestion would be open to learning new things always. I think that is one thing. If I was interviewing someone, that is one thing I would look for, because it's not one set of tasks that you do within a company. You will be expected to learn new things and adapt well. So always have an open and learning mindset. That would be one suggestion. And do attend all the placement trainings and resources that the college provides. It does help a lot. And be serious about the interviews. Prepare well. Anu, go ahead.
Yeah. For the second year students, I would say there are like plenty of opportunities for you guys for being exposed to something external. We have Google Summer of Code, or there are internships from prestigious universities in our country, like IITs and IISCs, who do offer summer internships, because the third year students will be busy with their placements. I'm saying this for second years, and even the Google Summer of Code in the same lines. And I think Firefox also offers something similar to that, and there are a lot of opportunities out there. So do grab them. That is one suggestion. And second suggestion would be this placement time for like 2 months, or actually more than 2 months, for the throughout the year. It's very crucial and very like heavy emotionally. So do take care of yourself and don't feel bad if you don't get placed in one company, and things like that. So these things keep happening, and especially for students in hostel, or who stay with their friends. If your friend is getting placed I do understand that it's a really like hard moment where you are happy for your friend and obviously are like sad that you didn't get placed, and you might feel really bad. But do talk to your seniors or other friends who you're comfortable sharing such things with, because this is something that you will be going through but you can't share openly. So do take care of yourself. And another thing is, this placement process for each company actually goes like throughout the day, and sometimes even till the middle of the night. So do take care of your food and your health, because this will be happening like every day you'll be in the college, almost like more than 10 12 hours till you get placed. So that's why take care of your health. And let me think if there is something else. Anything to add, Shubhashri? If something came into
Yeah, I
your
think
mind.
you brought out some very good points to stay healthy emotionally and mentally as well. I think placements are a tough time for everyone. So, but Pradeep Sarang, the placement cell, is always there to guide you well. Uh, just take care of yourself, like Anup mentioned. I think that's a very good point.
So one tip I want to tell these students, there are ample opportunities awaiting to you. Anup stressed upon a very important aspect. Don't take negative thoughts inside your mind. If you don't get placed today, there might be another good company waiting for you. So there might be a small gap between what they expected, and what you have. It is not that you are not matching the requirement, or probably sometimes so happens, they come with specific requirement. They want to recruit only two students and they have diversity in mind, so they want only two female students inside the company. So though boys, though you are good, technically extremely good, everything, you might not have an opportunity in the company. And the worst part which can happen is, your roommates, as Anup mentioned, you are studying together, your grades are same, your roommate gets placed and you are like dejected. So this might happen continuously for 10 companies. But I would like to tell you, take it as an experience. So every company which is giving you an opportunity, take it as experience. Go back and see where you went wrong. Uh, think what is the question asked, what was the answer which you gave. Can you modify that answer to something better? So there are instances where students have sat in for 60 70 companies. A few of the students have sat in for 60 70 companies and not got placed, but the 71st company they rocked it. Their package might be around 15 20 lakhs. And the companies which are coming to campus also will not be in any frequency of salary matrix. So dream companies will come in. I mean, initially dream companies will come post December, so there is no certain time frame with the schedule of the company. So they would come when they are ready. So likewise, last year we had companies coming from Hyderabad very late. So Intuit actually came in very late last year. Probably that was the last company to come in. So there are certain few companies which are actually, still looking for great opportunity. It doesn't mean that if you don't get into a company now pre-December, you will not have good companies coming in post-December. Don't have any negative thoughts. Take every thought as a positive. And also one advantage for you is, if everybody, most of you in your class are getting placed, your competition is reduced. Think positive. So then that is the reason for the, when the best of the slot is already gone and you are left around, you are the best slot, next available best slot. So I presume that all 1,000 students in SJC are best. They are good in their own terms. So don't take negative things to your head. If you take negative things, that is the day you're not going to perform well in the interview. You will have to be the best salesman. The 5 10 minutes, how you demonstrate your skills to the HR. Again, I'm going to tell you, is the time where you're going to make your career or break your career.
Yeah, adding to it, I think there is always a notion with the students wherein they think all the good companies come in the beginning, and it keeps decreasing according to the goodness of the company or something like that. But that is definitely not true. Like sir already mentioned, companies keep coming in between, and you can get placed anytime you want. So don't get scared if so many companies came and went, and you're still not placed or something like that. Or if you're already placed to a company that after you got placed, you realized you're not that much happy with. So there is something good out there that will definitely come your way throughout the placements journey. That is something I wanted to add. Uh,
And another
Uh,
important aspect which I would like to tell you, get used to e-interviews, online interviews, Skype, web meetings. So this is the new interviewing system. So you virtually be not seeing the person face to face. It will be over Skype or any of these platforms. Uh, you'll have to put in another extra 2% of your effort to convince us to the company executive who's sitting across in the computer screen.
Yeah, and reiterating what Sir said previously, so every company has its own standards for different colleges. So it will be really good if you can talk to your own peers and your seniors about their experience in the past, because the standards would be of the same level. So and one more resource for getting to know about the questions and things like that is Geeks for Geeks, that I personally used to refer for placement preparation, and there are a lot of other websites and resources as well. And you also have the college repository of your own seniors, which will be really helpful if you go through each one of it. There, I think there are really like nicely structured according to the company and according to the year and everything. And I think that's rightly available to you on the placement portal, if I'm not wrong, because I think that's where I found it also. And Something else I wanted to say, which I forgot. Um yeah, I do keep in touch with your seniors who are already placed in these companies that are coming. And I think Sir already mentioned that while the company comes to college before the placement talk, you can always go to Glassdoor and find out about the reviews for that particular company and how the work culture and all those things are. And do ask questions. And in the interview, I think I missed this earlier. In the interview, do not ask questions like "How did my interview go? Will I get selected?" and such things, some things like that. But having said that, definitely ask questions about the company, about the work culture, about the tools and technologies they used, because that attracts them. Because they think that that you are really interested in their company and would love to work. And I've also read somewhere that asking questions in the company pre-placement talk, that also attracts the interviewers, because they are the ones who will be taking your interviews later.
Thank you. What are the core companies that we can expect for biotechnology?
So biotechnology, last time we had a company called Basel Biotechnology. So they want to recruit this year. So we tried to get them last year, but they're coming in for recruiting the new batch now. So we are also trying very hard to get the company Biocon on campus, and another company, Rubik Systems, which they are recruiting for biotechnology. So we will have some promising companies for biotechnology this year. We've been trying hard to get them on campus, but the required skill set was not matching last year. But this year they might recruit the new set of students.
Thank you, sir. Some people will participate in the interview, and even if they get selected, then they'll reject the offer. Is it bad to be a student?
So I tell these students, if you are not focused about joining a job, please don't snatch somebody else's opportunity. Don't just sit for an interview for an experience. There are some needy students out there who are actually real, passionate about getting into the company, do their living, pay their loans, so they would miss an opportunity. So, and if you actually are not inclined about joining and you reject the offer, it is actually a bad mark on the student and also on the college. So that is actually bad reputation which you'll bring in. So don't ever sit for a company if you're not sure, and later reject the offer. So that will not be entertaining.
Thank you and audience. I also thank students who asked the queries. Now I'd like first the vote of thanks.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of LCC, I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Pradeep Manjunath and our SJC alumnus, Ms. Subhashri and Mr. Anup, for the admonition and the guidance that they shared with us today. I want to thank the LCC team. Had it not been for their support, this event would not have happened. I would also like to thank our audience for joining with us today. We hope that you find this session helpful. We would come up with a more informative session in the future, so kindly follow our Instagram page at Linux Campus Club for all updates. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.